If I ever have to have like an aneurysm, I hope it's on camera, and I really hope you guys upload it in my honor. Like it would just be me just going, oh, I got a headache. And I want to be in the middle of a conversation though. Like, dude, and the funniest part was boom, and then someone else was like, what was the funny part?
Hi, welcome to a very special Game of the Year episode of Savepoint. This episode we're going to be talking about our picks for Game of the Year, and it's going to be really good. I am the person on the left, or on the right. God damn.
I don't know, what is it? Is it left or right for the camera?
I don't know.
Let us know in the comments.
Yes, what side am I on? I don't know. I don't know where I am. I'm Michael Anthony Torres.
Nick Rubio.
I'm Ryan Shepard.
Hunter Taylor.
There we go.
Hunter dramatic pause Taylor.
That's on his birth certificate.
That'd be great.
And this episode we're going to be talking about our personal picks for Game of the Year.
No topics.
No topics.
No topics. I believe, will we allow repeats of Game of the Years? or no?
We haven't even discussed it. That's
We
the best
don't
part.
know. We don't
How
know.
about this? Do what's on your mind.
Do what's on my mind.
Do what's on your
I don't know if you want to say that. I think you want to rephrase that.
Do the Game of the Year.
Yeah.
Do the game.
Please.
What's on your mind.
Not, yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's not a hairy guy here. Wait, what? Alright,
Not like how he normally turns into a girl.
yeah, now let's go into
Alright, who's gonna start? Oh god.
Let's start with Hunter.
You wanna start with Hunter?
Hunter.
Come on,
Take it
Hunter.
away, dude.
Alright.
Game of the Year.
So, I had a really hard choice time doing this, but there's so many amazing games this year, and I think this is a better year than last year for gaming. I'm gonna...
Come on, just be. We know what you want to say.
Man, just drive it in there.
We know what you want to say.
It's tough though, because Assassin's Creed 4 is up there for me. Okay, I'm just...
But does it have all the triumvirate of gaming?
Kinda, yeah, you can do whatever like you want.
Look, if you can't 360 no scope, it's a garbage game.
Right?
You haven't seen those pirate physics.
Pirate physics.
Alright, I'm just gonna say Last of Us. My game of the year is Last of Us because out of every game this year, I think the game just really hit home with me personally, and it's a very emotional game. And it just when you watch the game, even just the beginning, you see like they don't use facial capture like Rockstar does. They have really talented animators that really capture human emotion so well. So when you see Joel crying, you really feel like he's crying. You don't feel like this is just an AI or just whatever.
Yeah, I agree with that. There
it's
are
a
limits.
real person.
There are limits to mocap, so they kind of made up
Yeah.
for that in
So-
intuitive ways.
Well, the way they see it is their studio is so talented with doing facial features that they don't need it.
Right.
Like that's what they said when they were doing Uncharted 3.
I didn't know they didn't use mocap for that. That's really interesting.
So
They
like,
use body mocap, but
Yeah.
they didn't use
Facial, yeah.
Because you can't, it looks too stiff. Like,
Mhm.
if you look at that and you compare it to Beyond Two Souls, like Willem Dafoe, it's like,
L.A. Noire.
Yeah, and that also comes from like the quality of actor that you have playing that role. You know what I mean?
And Troy Baker is an amazing actor. And honestly, Ashley Johnson, who played Ellie, she did an amazing job too.
Mhm.
And
She's the most important character in Avengers. She was the girl that Captain America saved at the end of the movie. And
Really?
she was on the news. She was like, wherever the Avengers are,
Yeah.
want them to know I'm grateful. That was Ashley Johnson. That was her.
Interesting.
I want them to know, I'm immune.
I consider this year like the year of Troy Baker, honestly. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like every year. I'm sorry. Every year is the year of Troy Baker.
It has changed. It used to be every year was the year of Nolan North.
Yeah.
And I guess Nolan North is like, I'll just take a back seat and let Troy Baker do every part for every
I look
game
at his
ever.
IMDb and I'm like,
It's
he was
He's
in every
mind-blowing.
these games?
He's, okay, so let's just go through some. He's Joker.
He's Joel, he's Booker.
He's a good Joker.
Yeah, he's Joel and Booker. He is the two main characters and the leading contenders for everybody's game of the year.
I'm pretty sure he was nominated for Best Voice Role twice.
And he's, what is his name?
He locked
Delvin
down
or whatever
Yeah.
from Infamous Second Son.
He's Delson Rowe in Infamous Second Son.
Yeah.
He is Revolver Ocelot in the new Metal Gear Solid
Yes,
coming out.
yes, he is.
He's the middle. He's like, if you actually listen to the few scenes from.
I'm pretty sure
For
he
Metal Gear
was
Solid 5?
Ocelot.
No, he wasn't. That was a different actor. I know. I
He
forget
was?
his name. I forget that kid's name.
He's the Eddie Murphy of voice acting.
But he has like the best Revolver Ocelot role.
Mhm.
He gets the gruff. He gets to do some of the gruff of the old Revolver Ocelot, but he still gets to be young from the early 60s Ocelot, or early 70s, so he's going to have a lot of fun. He gets to play all the cool characters.
Okay, so the cinematics, the voice acting, the acting, what else?
I really thought the combat was a lot of fun because when you shot somebody, you didn't just feel like it was like, oh, I'm shooting air or whatever. Like, similar to like another game that I could think of is like Red Dead Redemption or whatever. When you shoot somebody, you really feel like as close as you can get with gaming as to shooting somebody. So for me, when you shot somebody, you really
there was weight to
there's
it.
like there's like a punch to
They
it.
mocap a bunch of people.
They just
a bunch
shot.
of people in mocap suits and then just shot them. Like, hey, what am I here for? Bah!
So
That's the best like authentic like reaction. Like, hey, what's going on? Boom!
Exactly. Why did you do that? You're an actor.
Yeah,
You get it.
if you were braced, it wouldn't have been the same.
Exactly.
And I think another thing is when you start off on the journey, you really feel like no, this is a spoiler-free thing, but when you really start off, you really feel like they're training you up until the point when you're alone with Ellie. So when you're there with her, you really know what you're supposed to do. And when you take that journey, and at the end of it, you're not like, I'm not saying you're not the same person, but you don't think the same way about the game as to the beginning. I mean, obviously it's with most games like Bioshock Infinite and stuff like that, but I mean like really like I'm talking about character development, like same thing as Bioshock Infinite, but
Which
like
some games
really
are
just
sorely
like
lacking.
Yeah.
things like the story was just so like I didn't feel like they were dragging you along or whatever. You really felt
It was
like
paced very well.
yeah, the game was just paced really well. Like to me, the only part that was I kind of felt like okay, let's hurry up a little bit was the beginning. But then after the beginning's over, you really appreciate that because you really feel like they really trained you. So for me personally, I really think the game was just very. It didn't feel disjointed at all. Everything just felt very coherent. Is it perfect? No, it's not perfect. But to me personally, this is a harp, okay? These are the strings on the harp. This is what Last of Us does. It grabs them like a fucking bow and arrow and just whatever. Because it's just so...
It's just music of the angels.
Yeah.
I don't know, I read an interesting quote, I don't think this would be too much of a spoiler, but it's, the world took something from Joel, so Joel took something from the world. And I thought that was like... yeah, it was real deep, I was like, shit.
Which I know what he does. We know what he takes from the world. Is that a dick move on his part?
Very
If we're looking at the big picture.
Big picture, yeah.
Spoiler-free.
Big picture was a big dick move.
If you're like a utilitarian person where you're looking at the greatest good for the greatest number, you're gonna have to say that it was a dick move.
But I totally get his emotion.
Yeah.
I totally get the journey. I totally get why he did what he did.
And not to
I would do what he did.
It was a human game. I think that's one of the most
Yes.
impressive things about it, is that it was very human game.
And not to mention,
Okay.
the soundtrack was really amazing too. Like, when you buy the game, it comes with the soundtrack and you can download it. And I listened to it a bunch of times, and every single time, like, except for like, the action parts when he's fighting people, but like a lot of the songs, like when they first get back to like Joel's like brothers thing at the end, or like even like other parts like when Joel talks about like his daughter for the first time to Ellie and he feels comfortable enough to talk to her about it, you really feel like the music really sets the tone of like a really dark but very just emotional story that like honestly emotional wise I think this is the most hard hitting besides like I heard Gone Home was pretty emotional too.
Still haven't played it.
I still haven't played it
I have no
either.
idea.
But I think Last of Us definitely hit at my core. And it affected me the most out of all these games, but this is a great year for games, so.
Are you ashamed to say that it made you emotional? Like, were you like,
No.
was your heart fluttering, or were you tearing up at any time?
I played it with Corey, and Corey was the first time seeing it. He played the beginning, and at the end he was just like, whoa, man.
It was heavy.
No, I teared up a little bit. Yeah.
Alright, fair enough. We're gonna go down the line here?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I've been trying to keep an open mind about the whole Game of the Year thing for a while now, because I've been pretty sure for a while what I've been wanting to pick. It hasn't changed. So, I mean, the best game I've played this year has been Bioshock Infinite. That's my pick for the Game of the Year. And when I looked at it, like what the criteria is for something to be Game of the Year, I think something that's really, in the same way that film is, something that's very important is that it has to do something revolutionary that like redefines or changes the art, I guess. I think something that has to at least move games forward in a certain degree. It can't just be the most fun. There has to be something extra special
I need
about
to
it.
quickly think of something then.
I mean, that's up to you, but that's my personal
Yeah,
feeling.
it's just based off of what you heard.
So, you look at things in games, as far as something being knit together in such a cohesive way, Bioshock Infinite did that. So look at gameplay, it's very fun, it's very diverse in that they break up the mechanics of just a first-person shooter. You're not always just running and gunning, they break it up with like the dimensional tears, they break it up with using the
Skyline.
One of them, no, the Skyline, but I don't want to say plasmids because I'm so vigors. I always want to say plasmids, man. Bioshock's got me messed up. But yeah, and the thing is that the gameplay mechanics did tie into the story with obviously the Skyline and the dimensional tears as well. The soundtrack I think was amazing for the game. Like not only did they use they had I don't know what the name of it is, a really sad song by Mozart in there. Oh, I can't remember it. It's the one that plays like it's the song that they use for the wife of Comstock, I'm pretty sure.
What, like Moonlight Sonata?
Something like that. And they had another one, I can't remember what it's called. But yes,
the
that
song with Joel and not Joel and God damn it, Booker and Elizabeth.
Will the Circle Be in the
yeah, that I think was the best song in a game this year.
I just wish they made it a little longer in the game.
Yeah.
Like, they kind of cut it
But
off.
that scene was really sweet where you pick up the guitar and you're
And that's a purely random thing.
Yeah,
Like, you don't have to do that.
yeah.
You can just walk past it.
Okay, so on from there, gameplay was extremely well done. It ties into the story in a way that I think is meaningful. The art direction was really impressive, where it's a beautiful game, the story, and the way it creates a sense of scale I think is also really special. And I think that works together with the Skyline, because sometimes I would fly on the Skyline and I'd just look around at the sheer crazy scale of the game. But the art ties into like the emotions as well. Like this sort of awe feeling you get as soon as you enter Columbia is so driven by the art of that game. So the soundtrack, again, amazing. When you go from classical music to Creedence Clearwater Revival, Fortunate Son, like tying all this stuff together in such like a involved narrative.
Cyndi Lauper.
Yeah. Or just want to have fun.
All over the place. So I think there's social commentary in the game. It's relevant. The storyline, crazy. Like you can't look at the story of Bioshock Infinite and say that's not like a moving story. You know. So
I think another thing is every detail in the game matters.
absolutely, yeah.
Everything matters.
So when you combine the fact of the gameplay, the soundtrack for the game, the art direction, I feel like it all was built so well together in such a cohesive way that creates an experience. And that ending though.
Right?
I was trying to show Mary the game the other day, and as soon as I played it, I started over to show her. And as soon as I started playing, I was like, I want to play this game, but I have other games. I can't. Let's put it away. Like, the game is so immersive. Like, it's one of the most immersive games I've ever played in my life.
And I couldn't put it down. And,
Yeah.
and that's another thing that...
I know. You texted me the day after Christmas, and I'm like, did you not stop to use your bodily function?
See, that's another thing that impressed me about the game is I'm at a point right now where like I've been finding it harder and harder to really sit down and play a game for hours on end because I'm like, oh man, I'm a grown-up now. I have to do things. I didn't stop playing that game. I played it all the way through. I think I beat it in 2 sittings, but still, like 6 hours at a time or something. So all around, I think it was an amazing game, extremely well built, beautiful, artful, and so on. That's why it's my game of the year.
All right.
Yeah, it's a good game.
I hope I explained that well enough.
Oh, sick. It sucked because I really...
Saints Row 4?
Yeah, Saints Row 4.
Beyond Two Souls?
I didn't play Beyond Two Souls, but I heard it was a good game.
I heard mixed reviews.
Yeah.
People hated it and people loved it.
I'd rather play Indigo Prophecy.
If you didn't enjoy games like Heavy Rain, you didn't enjoy games like Indigo Prophecy, you probably
But a
wouldn't
lot of
enjoy...
people said they enjoyed Heavy Rain and they like Beyond Two Souls. I once liked the entire game.
I blame it on Willem Dafoe.
Like,
If he's not the Green Goblin, then I don't care.
Boondock Saints.
Everything.
Boondock Saints.
He's great in everything.
Boondock Saints.
He was amazing in the Boondock Saints. He was terrifying in the Boondock Saints. Even scarier than he was in
Get
the
to
Joker.
your game, you're stalling.
It's hard.
I don't know. I really want to diversify. Cause I really.
Just do what you think is personal.
I don't know. Like I really enjoy.
Don't fight it. Just let it come out.
God damn it! I really want to go with GameSpot in this one. I really enjoyed. What's it called? A Link Between Two Worlds. I thought it was
Really?
yes. Zelda, yes. I really feel like it was such a different, like, you pick up a Zelda game, you're like, well, I'm gonna crawl through these dungeons and get the thing and be done with it. But like, I really feel like they just added so much more to it with the whole, you got to paste yourself onto the walls and stuff, and now there's like this whole third dimension that they got to play with where all the whole structures of all the maps changed. And
Is that really new though, or Paper Mario? isn't sort of similar
Paper
to that?
Mario's an RPG though.
But like, didn't they use the same more mechanics? Okay, well now you can move in a two-dimensional way. I thought it was.
No, Paper Mario, I believe, is like a strategy RPG, like where you have to like use power-ups to like fight other monsters. I don't know. I never played Paper Mario, but like to actually.
I did. So good.
But is it like how I'm explaining
so
it?
good. Well, okay, I played the older ones. The newer one kind of has what you're saying, kind of, but it's not. It's not like a crux. It's not like the main thing.
Right. Where in Zelda, it's like a.
But yes, in Super Mario, I believe if I'm remembering correctly, the one I played, it was a turn-based strategy game. It was an RPG, and you leveled up Mario.
No thanks. Go on.
But I
just don't want to level up Mario.
I picked it up, and every time I could get a chance when I wasn't living my troubling life to play it, I couldn't put it down. It was tons of fun. I felt like even the music, it very brought back all those nostalgic feelings and stuff like that. And the when you got to so not to be crazy spoilers, but there's the two worlds. There's Hyrule and there's Lorule, and the whole.
And there's also Ja Rule.
Yeah.
Yes. I was about to say those writers just all right. What's the opposite of Hyrule? Low rule. Oh! Give this man a raise!
2 raises.
Give him a raise and a lower!
A high raise and a low raise.
Exactly.
And I don't know, I felt like the whole what if it, like in the whole timeline of this crazy timeline of Legend of Zelda, what happened if they destroyed the Triforce?
Okay.
And you got to see what happened in Lorule, and it was not that pretty at all. And so I don't know, and then I can't like go crazy into it without spoiling.
It is hard. It is really hard.
Spoiling tons of great stuff, but I don't know. Like I felt like it was, and the ending was very touching at the end. The ending was very very touching at the end. I can't even. It sucks. I can't even go into it.
Yeah.
It is always good when you can take a handheld game and feel like it's something you've never done with a handheld before.
Yeah, I mean, as far as granted the graphics weren't amazing, but for being what they were aiming for, the art style, it was very good and it was very funny and I don't know, I felt like the end was very touching. I enjoyed it a lot, and that's why I'm going to go with my game of the year.
Solid.
All right, I'm going to say my game of the year in an effort not to repeat anybody, because I could just go on and on about the games you brought up. Okay. So I'm going to take mine. Mine's a little out of left field. It is out of left field.
Okay.
I feel like no one's going to agree with me.
I think I know what it is. Okay.
I just it.
The suspense is just killing me.
It is Splinter Cell Blacklist.
I knew it.
Really? Splinter Cell Blacklist.
Game of the year for Blacklist.
Game of the year for Blacklist.
As soon as you got here, you're
Tom
talking
Clancy
about
is not rolling around in his grave.
Okay. I have one complaint.
Okay.
Is how confusing it is to make the game work. Like the fact that the menus are like an interactive thing in the game, like I couldn't figure that out.
Really?
Like I started playing the game, I'm like trying to hit start. I'm like, why do I not have a menu?
Because it
start you off in Guam.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Start you off in Guam, and
I skipped all that stuff.
You skipped the tutorial a little
Yeah, I was like, I was in a real hurry to play Spies vs. Mercs. So I'm like, skip, and then I'm like, I don't know how to make this game function.
Yes. All right. I feel like it is a weird choice. I feel like not a lot of people are gonna agree it's game of the year material.
It got really good.
But I don't think anybody can question it's
fun.
Exactly how fun it is and how good it is. I don't think anybody can question that. I will say literally, and this is nitpicky as hell. My only problem is that Michael Ironside is not the voice of Sam Fisher at all. Mm-hmm. I find it. And this is like this is just a nitpick thing, and even then, it's a nitpick on something that is not required in the game.
Yeah.
It's that at the after missions you can talk to Sarah, your daughter, and I'm like, this guy's a kid. This 20-year-old dude has a 20-year-old daughter. You expect me to believe that? You expect me to believe that this guy who's this young has a daughter who's this young? I don't know. Impossible.
Okay.
But other than that. I loved it. I thought it was the perfect marriage of the conviction pace and the conviction forward thinking that, look, you know, even if it's a stealth game, you gotta cater to action people, you gotta cater to everybody. It had that forward face, you know, mentality that conviction had, and setting your own pace, and stealth doesn't have to be, I'm just gonna sit in the shadow and wait till this patrol happens. It had that, but it also had all the nuance that Chaos Theory had, with the ability to say, look, if I don't want to kill anybody, I'm not going to kill anybody. If I want to wait for the, you know, the patrols to go by, then I will do that. If I want to just use, you know, just the knife or just my pistol, or if I want to hook up this, if I want to hook up that was all an option. That was all there. I actually cared about the characters. Normally, Grim and the other characters in the game are just whatevers. Really, they really are. The only character I ever cared about in the old Splinter Cell was Lambert, and I cared because I had to kill him. You know what I mean? But I never cared about Anna until this game. I never cared about anybody like Briggs or Cole in the old games. They weren't even in the old games, and I cared about them now. You know, I thought the play between Sam and Briggs, especially on the whole doing your duty portion of the thing, like, oh, your duty comes first. I thought that interplay was really good and really interesting to watch, and I really enjoyed the game. I thought it was a nice, fun story, a good popcorn story of terrorists who hate us for no reason. Absolutely no, like their own flawed logic, you know, like, oh, but you don't understand. Like, no, I do understand. You're fucking crazy. I get it. And,
grenade though.
right?
In the beginning, yeah.
Yeah, and then more importantly, Spies versus Mercs.
Yeah,
Spies
versus Mercs.
Let's get down to the meat of the story.
Spies versus Mercs is the best multiplayer this year. Period. Beats Call of Duty,
It's actually
beats Battlefield.
really, really fun.
That is a thinking man's game. That is a game of chess on top of a game of chess. That game is so much fun. There is absolutely nothing like playing as a spy, okay, and outsmarting another live, actual human being. And
I only enjoyed his traditional though,
classic mode.
Once you like, because then people stop playing like spies. When they play Blacklist. Like
they start playing like Mercs.
Yeah, you know, it's like you can't give them guns and stuff like that. Like it just it takes away.
But when you're playing just classic, there's nothing like sneaking into a terminal area, hacking the terminal, and not getting a kill. Just avoiding the Merc, the whole 100 seconds that you're in the terminal.
Very cool.
There's nothing like, all right, I've started the hack. Now I'm just gonna ghost around this guy. I'm not gonna attack him because I don't want to give away my position because his boy is there and my teammate's trash, so I can't attack him. But I don't want to be seen. There's nothing like, oh god, I'm like right behind him and he's not gonna turn around, and then he turns around, and like, no, climb up. You know, there's nothing like that game of cat and mouse that you get.
And it's a lot more rewarding than when you play a stealth game with NPCs. Like,
It is.
You can't feel rewarded when you were able to sneak around a computer.
Yeah, you snuck around
real
a bunch of numbers.
You're like,
I'll do you
I'm a ninja.
getting the hack and then double killing the people.
Yes,
that's
getting
the
Knife is my favorite.
Getting the hack.
and then double killing.
Exactly. There's those moments are like the moments you talk about in Call of Duty. Oh, dude, this time I got like this crazy quadruple kill. Like, but I can talk about that every single time I play Splinter.
Yeah.
Every match of Splinter Cell has one of those. Every single match.
The fact that it's not a large spectator game is crazy to me. Like, there's not a huge audience for it, but I watched just him and our other friend Brandon play the game, and it was crazy. Like, there were 5 of us just watching, and we were like, oh! Like,
Everybody else is telling us to shut up.
It is amazing, and it's one of those games. It's one of those games where when you play it and you have something like Turtle Beaches, or you have like nice headphones. That's one of those games where you appreciate. You're just in this room and you're just feeling your own heartbeat and like the hum of the air conditioning in the building you're in and the little lights and everything. You're just like, oh god, I know you're in this room. I know there's another human in this room, and I'm gonna find him.
And you do that thing where someone else is talking, or shh. Like, I know they can't hear you, but
shut up. And it's another one, and it works both ways. Playing as a mercenary, there's nothing. I play this all the time with our friend Scooter. There's absolutely nothing like playing sneaky merc. When you play sneaky merc, it's when you turn off, like, the mercenaries. It's such a dark environment. The spies really do have the upper hand, but that lends to like the mind games you play with people. When people play as spies, a lot of the time they just look for a flashlight, and then when they see light, they're like, okay, he's in that door because I see his flashlight coming out of it. So there's nothing like playing as a merc and going, I know he's not at B, I know he's not at C, so he's gonna be at A, and walking into A with your flashlight off. Just like, you know what, I'm gonna take the gamble off. And you just walk around and you sneak up on the spy. When you sneak up on the spy and when you get the melee, it's like coming into someone else's house and telling them to get out. Like, this is my house now.
Remember that double kill grenade we threw into the hole and you're like, we know he's up there, and they threw the grenade and then both kills and stopped the hack. Right,
and there's nothing like that.
There's nothing.
And the tension of there's 90% left on a hack, and you and your partner are the mercs, you're frantically, we have 10 seconds to find this guy, frantically running around. That multiplayer is reason enough for Game of the Year. That multiplayer is incredible.
It is.
See, I didn't get to play Blacklist, but I played Conviction, and I was a big fan of Conviction. Wasn't Double Agent the last one that had the mercs versus spies?
Yes. Yes.
So.
Double Agent had, well, here's the thing, Double Agent had spies versus mercs, but it was bad. They stripped out all of the stuff to make it more user-friendly because Spies vs. Mercs in Pandora Tomorrow and in Chaos Theory was so hardcore. That was one of those games that either you got that game day one and were practicing the day it came out, or you didn't, and if you didn't, you could never play because everyone would just trounce you.
So it's StarCraft.
Exactly.
So it's StarCraft.
And so they stripped out, they made it bare bones, and it just didn't work.
Yeah.
And then they were like, oh, we can't figure out a way to make it work in Conviction, so they left it out. But boy, did they make it work in this one. Oh my gosh, it's so good. It is the best multiplayer I've played it's the best multiplayer I've played since the last Splinter Cell multiplayer I played. Simple as that.
So, I think that covers it.
Yeah.
These are our selections for Game of the Year.
They are no way a reflection of what is, merits, and we're not giving away awards for just personal thoughts.
I mean, they can give us awards for
what they want.
What is your Game of the Year? Why don't you let us know? Do you agree with us? Do you disagree with us? Do you want to tear us down in the comments? You can try it. I don't care.
Write a wall
I do care, but
let us know.
Is there any memorable mentions?
Honorable mentions. Honorable mentions.
They're all honorable mentions.
XCOM Enemy Unknown.
Didn't that come out last year?
No.
No, it came out this year.
Enemy Within came out this year. Unknown came out last year.
Oh, yeah.
Enemy.
Oh, you're right. Enemy Within.
And the Bureau. I would be surprised that you didn't say the Bureau.
Was the Bureau? We were talking about good games.
You didn't like the Bureau? You found the Bureau? I thought you would like the Bureau.
Also, thank you for watching us during 2013. This is the last video of this year. We'll see you next year, bright and early.
Right here on Savepoint.
Oh, I mentioned in GTA 5.
Yeah, GTA 5. Bye.